Hi guys, it's Carcer coming back again with some more Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 multiplayer PvP. Um, Starting off this time with a game against Bruce Lee in the Chaos fleet. Uh, Spoiler alert, this is an example of how to play Chaos against Orcs and how not to play Orcs against Chaos. It's a bit of a shit show on my part, but great play from Bruce Lee on the other side. So let's see. So we're going for a standard setup first off. We're taking a couple of groups of escorts. One's going to go over and capture that far right point. I'm going to hide another group in the asteroid field over the left hand side. Once the coast is looking clear, I'm going to plan to move them up the left flank, backcap that top left point from the enemy, because I'm sure that is one of the first things they're going to grab. But like I say, I'll leave them hidden in the asteroid field for the moment, just so they don't get pounced on too early on. The rest of my escorts, well, the remaining two escorts, they're just going to follow my main fleet up. Wasn't sure. I've seen quite a few Chaos light cruiser heavy fleets recently, so I thought it might be handy to keep the remaining escorts with my main fleet just in case I need some additional spotting. I am running the fleet with two Terror cruisers rather than the Hammer battle cruisers I normally take. As I explained in my previous video, I've been coming up against a lot more carrier based fleets, and so I think the total 4 squadrons I get from the two Terrors are preferable to the 2 squadron total I would get with 2 Hammers. I am sacrificing a little bit of critical hit resistance by taking cruisers rather than battle cruisers, and I'm also sacrificing the heavy guns batteries that the Hammers have, unfortunately. But otherwise, I mean, as far as like hit points and armor profile, it's all the same. They've still got mega cannons on the front, although having less weapons does also mean that they're more prone to weapon criticals, taking out those all important mega cannons. So what I've done here is I've started moving my fleet over towards the right hand side of the map. I decided for some reason I was going to go after that group of 3, I think it's battle cruisers up in the top right there. Well, what I 100% should have done, which is make a beeline straight up and go for the battleship, and I think it's one more battle cruiser around the left side, because those ships that I'm chasing after now are A, going to be further away from me, so it's going to take longer to catch, and B, are going to be much faster and more difficult to catch than the battleship, so a bit more manoeuvrable. Yeah, it's is all 3 the same? No, it's 1 Hecate, and looks like what 2. I'm not sure what the other 2 battle cruisers are. So my 2 cruisers are now have been revealed. I think they've got scanner pulse, so they're now just getting shot to pieces. By going right, it also mucked me up because I got blocked by those floating structures, so that screwed up my battleships, and the battleship's now miles behind the cruisers, which left them extremely exposed. I'm just going to try and boost my cruisers up into this gas cloud so that when the scanner pulse wears off, then they'll have a bit of well, I mean, they would have had cover in the asteroid field, but I want them to go and chase those battle cruisers, put pressure on them. Try to get some boarding off on that one ship. Fighters are on target. Looks like the assault craft are going to make it there as well. Okay, so that puts 4 on him. So I'm just going to try and catch him now with the old stasis tractor combo, which should do no issues. I do have my battleships onto locked on target now, so we should be able to punish that guy. I'm going to boost my, well, now I wanted to boost both my cruisers up to engage that little group of battle cruisers there, just to make them run, you know, not give them an easy time. But unfortunately, one of my cruisers has mutinied without me noticing, so that's not great. And now the engines just died on the other cruiser, so I'm not going to expect them to be much use for the rest of the game. While this is going on, I've started moving my left-hand group of escorts up to try and capture the top left point, but unfortunately I think I'm actually herding their main fleet right towards them, so that's not ideal. I was hoping to maybe split them and move to the right. But my right-hand group of escorts moving up to back cap the other Chaos Hell point in the top right. But the enemy does have kind of overwhelming map control. They've actually moved one of their own escorts down to back cap my central bottom point. So it looks like it's just a single escort, so it's taking a while, but yeah, they're going to have that soon enough. And so I now decide to switch and go after their battleship. But I'm going to have a hard time catching them because they are pretty damn quick, those old Chaos battleships. If I'd just gone for him straight away at the start of the match, I could have grabbed him, taken him out, then all I would have had to deal with the battle cruisers for the rest of the match, which would have been a lot easier. So the whole time that I'm now chasing this battleship, who's away to grab another point, excellent map control, and he's just statused me. So that's going to allow him to get even further away. I'm also taking rear shots from the rest of the Chaos fleet. So there goes another mutiny on my other cruiser. So it looks like two of my escorts did make it through to get to that top left point, so that's good. So hopefully get that captured. I've decided to try and spin around and take the enemy unawares and boost my battleships towards their larger battlecruiser group here, rather than continuing to go after the flagship. Hopefully I can catch them unawares and maybe get them with a stasis and tractor combo. I'd like to be able to catch multiple of them, but I think I'm only going to be able to grab, yeah, I'm only going to grab one, unfortunately. Even if I boosted that bottom one up into the path of the other one, I don't think it would have gotten far enough, and the other one probably would have gotten out of the bubble first anyway. So taking a risk and used a repair on the flagship rather than holding on to it for the rally. I mean, he's quite low morale, but the other two battleships seem to be okay. He's got an intact deck as well, so I can take a mutiny on him without too much risk. But yeah, the enemy's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. He's, rather than just blobbing his ships together, he's split himself up into two groups, which forces me to either split my own ships to chase after him, which dilutes my firepower considerably, or makes me have to chase after one group or the other with the full fleet, which then also leaves my soft, squishy Ork bomb exposed to all that nasty rear shots. Of course, if you get rear shots, I've got low armor, I've got and engines. Now I screwed up with that last tractor. What I should have done, if I just scroll down and look, seen that structure there, I should have tractor beamed him into the structure, which would have A, damaged him as though he'd rammed another ship, and also would have got him stuck there, so I could have caught him more easily. I've just wasted a bubble there, and they're about to get caught probably in my own bubble after escaping from the one that the enemy put down. Currently sitting at 1600 points to 700. Enemy's got 3 capture points, I've got 1. About to capture another one in the top left, although I think those 2 escorts are now going to be taking fire from that one battle cruiser who's engaged with my remaining cruiser. His weapons deck looks like pretty much all of his all of his weapons, his deck engines all gone, so he's not much use. And yeah, enemy continues to kite me whilst also capping points. So once you get to these kind of late game situations where you're just running around after them, I mean, it's as good as over. With orcs, you need to get in there as quickly as possible, boost up, take out their high damaging ships, possibly cause them to panic. Just don't give them a room to breathe. See, I feel like as well, if I hadn't have had these Ravagers, and I'd had some decent escorts like Savages and Onslaughts, then which can actually fight. I mean, these Ravagers they're pretty much useless. The Orc Torpedoes are crap. And all they've got other than that is like 1 light guns battery. So you've got none of the DPS or high critical chance that the Savages, and you're getting Ravagers and Onslaughts mixed up, but you know, the other ones with the multiple light guns batteries that the Orcs have. And yeah, it's pretty much over at this point. Escort in the bottom right, split to go down. Did capture the top left, but my cruiser died fighting that enemy battle cruiser, unsurprisingly. So now it's just these 2 escorts that are about to get chased down by a battle cruiser up there. Looks like I am. Yeah, I mean, would have taken out the enemy flagship, but by this point it's just too far ahead on points. We've only got 2 battleships left. I mean, they are reasonably healthy. I've still got like 50% left on them, but my flagship's gone, so I've got no more tractor cannon. So yeah, enemy flag was about to go down, but even then, against 3 battle cruisers, they would be able to just kite me to oblivion without any access to stasis bubble or tractor. So yeah, that would have been that. So I just made a huge error at the very start. I went the wrong way, went after the wrong ship, and it cost me the game. But yeah, great play from Bruce Lee there. That was he just did exactly what he was supposed to do at all times in that match. Didn't really make any mistakes. Can't fault it. I mean, oftentimes when I'm playing Chaos, I'll find them. They come into the game with the intention of doing what Bruce Lee did, and they think, right, okay, I'm gonna just kite these orcs, but I find they're quite easy to herd. As I'm saying, if you just go after them balls in right from the start of the match, just boost up, go straight for their valuable ships, it tends to make them panic, because the Chaos player's mindset is, right, I want to be far away from these orcs. I want to keep them right on the edge of my range and just pick away at them and kite them to death. But if you surprise them and get up in their face, or maybe start popping stasis bubbles and getting them caught in there with the tractor, then rather than splitting up like they're supposed to, or they'll just kind of blow up their ships, they'll just group select their whole fleet and try and move away, which generally ends up with them in a big blobby mess, which just makes them even more vulnerable to being tractored and being pinned against the corner of the map and killed. So anyway, next game I've got Gaduka, who is playing the Space Marines. Space Marines can be quite nasty for orcs. They can outboard you. I mean, between my 3 battleships and 2 cruisers, I've got a reasonable amount of boarding, but obviously these Space Marines are doing that additional point of damage for each boarding action that they put on you, and they've got Honor the Chapter. And it seems like it's pretty standard issue equipment to take the Collectus Assassin when playing against the orcs for the Imperial factions who have access to it. So yeah, between the boarding, the Colexis, no, not to mention the boarding torpedoes and strike craft, almost forgot about that. Yeah, it's pity the orc boarding torpedoes don't home. That'd be quite nice. That would actually be that would be a good come to think of it, that would be a really nice touch for the orcs if they had some kind of like homing boarding torpedo weapon they could use. Just to aid with capturing, like catching faster enemies. That's I mean that's always a problem with the orcs. If you get someone who's, well, as we saw in the previous match, who's good at kiting and has manoeuvrable ships, then it can be very tricky to catch them. I mean, that was with me using a fleet made up of Evil Sun's ships with the red paint upgrade and the big red button upgrade. So you can imagine if you try to play as any other orc clan, or for whatever reason don't take the big red button upgrade against a chaos fleet, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare to catch them. Even stuff like Tyranids, like Tyranid hive ships with their new, their double boost, and the, what is it, Void Lurker, the little mini teleport. They can kite the shit out of you for days if you don't have big red button and red paint. And oftentimes I won't take that when I'm playing against Tyranids, because I drop them for Wasongs, and sometimes the God, what's it called? The backup decks. You actually use stances when your deck's been destroyed. So starting off this match, just moving a couple of groups of escorts over to capture the far left points. Looks like he's put his entire fleet over on the right hand side there. Another line of escort ships. Oh wait, was this the same guy? It's the same guy that did this with the Admech in the other game. Gaduka, might be. Well, he's got a thing, and he's sticking to it. They are a bit more spread out this time, so I'm not going to be so vulnerable to tractors. So I'm just going to save my tractors for the specimens. So it looks like, what, 2 strike cruisers and 1 battle barge? Is that it? Yeah, I guess that could be, since the Space Marine escorts are quite expensive. What is this, Novas he's going for? So it's going to hold the tractor and pull it in nice and close now. So that strike cruiser is about to get shit mixed. 13 boarding stacks on him. Looks like I haven't taken too much boarding damage myself. I've got 3 stacks left on the lead battleship. That's it. So I took a little bit of boarding damage on the right hand battleship. But I should get this strike cruiser dead. Probably both strike cruisers dead before they get a chance to board again. Did just pop a mutiny on the ship that got boarded. Did he get Colexis? I think he might have got a Colexis. Shields are down. Yeah. Distinct possibility. And his deck's destroyed. Not a problem though, so I'm just gonna get this strike cruiser in for a bit of a cuddle. So yeah, he's about to get the Brazzers treatment. Enemies trying to send out some strike craft, which I think we got shot down before they made it to me. Just circles, circles, circles everywhere. Get his stasis bomb, my stasis bomb. And a disruption bomb as well. So he avoided my stasis bomb and decided to move along. But as always with Astartes, I had his engines prioritised, so I made sure that was the first thing that went down. Drop a few boarding stacks on him as well, try and get him down to the next crew step, which he should do. If he doesn't go to call to arms, that'll definitely put him into the next crew step down, so that'll give him red engines fairly shortly. Meanwhile, cap points are getting capped. I mean, yeah, it's just a case now of waiting for the battle bars to die. Although I'm very low morale on my flag. And yep, got no rally available, so that's unfortunate. Flagship's gone. But the remaining 3 capital ships should have no problem taking out battle barge, who's about to lose his engine in any second now. There it goes. So that's the red engine. Looks like he's some of his weapons batteries are damaged as well. So I'll just move around onto the left hand side of the ship with the cruiser. I mean, the thing with the Space Marines, because they've got all-round weaponry, then 87 armor, 83 armor even. It doesn't really matter about which angle you're shooting them from. It's nice to get behind them so they've got less weapons they can put on you, but doesn't matter. He has been going for, he's definitely been going for a morale victory, because it's all decks that have been destroyed. He hasn't even going for engines, which is the other trick people usually do with orcs, to try and go for the engines and then just outmaneuver them. Which would actually work pretty well with Space Marines, if you'd maybe gone with that tactic from the start, and not just allowed me to ram straight into him, then he might have done a bit better, but that's the game over. I think he might be, yeah. I think he is the same guy that was playing Admech in my last video. So I think we'll go for one more game. I'm getting to one straight away. That's good. More Space Marines. New Parade. I think I've played him a few times recently. Can't for the life of me remember what he takes though. I think is he just a strike cruiser? Yeah, flat out strike cruiser fleet. I think so. High fuck nerf orc. Well. Orcs have been nerfed like every patch though, eh? Or if they don't get nerfed, then they just get left while everything else gets buffed. Kind of the same thing, I guess. That last round of nerfs, though, with the critical damage reduction for lock-on and the massive rate of fire nerf for the mega cannon, that's really hurt mega cannon orc fleets. I've definitely been finding it a lot tougher going since that happened. But they still work. So, looks like in this map, the bulk of the capture points are, well, all them are sort of spread in a line across the centre. Nothing is really in near anyone's deployment zone. So I've just split up the old escorts. They can capture the outliers, and then I'm just going to boost up the main fleet towards where the thickest concentration of capture points is in the centre of the map. Looks like my opponent has had the same idea. Not quite sure what he's got yet. Could be a bunch of light cruisers. Doesn't seem to be a strike cruiser fleet anyway, unless he's got them hiding in an asteroid field. Is this going to be two battle barges? Two battle barges and a light cruiser, maybe.
Enemy ship sight.
So it seems like he's boosting. Is that a light cruiser or a strike cruiser? I didn't quite catch it. Well, anyway, he's going for the central point. So I'll go meet him there. I've got escorts handy, so I can scanner him if needs be. Just send one up. So I'll send one of them up, stop him there in the asteroid field, get him re-stealthed. Yep, there we go. And then I'll wait till I get a bit closer, because I might not actually need to pop a scanner just yet. So I think he's just going to float straight out of this. No, he's gone out of the gas cloud, and now he's trying to get away. Don't blame him. Go for a cheeky wee ram there. And yeah, I'm afraid you're not going anywhere, my friend. No. So I've got all those nasty mega cannon ships all on lock on now. Looks like, yeah, I guess he uses boarding on one of my escorts for some reason. So yeah, red engines. That's he's done for, and his other two ships, which I think. Can you get two battle barges and a strike cruiser? I thought it would just have to be two battle barges and a light. I don't know. I haven't really played Space Marines for a long time, so I can't quite remember what the points values are. But regardless, whatever he's got up there is way too far away to assist with the. Let's call the escort there as well. Yeah, way too far away to assist his lone strike cruiser, who just got minced. Yeah, he really should have turned around as soon as he saw I was moving my whole fleet towards that point. Right, looks like two groups of strike craft heading in. Luckily we have got plenty of fighters available, so we'll just pop a group of them. Although, yeah, I think the point defences would have just taken care of them anyway, to be honest. So we're currently sitting on 2 points to his 0 points. I think another couple of groups of strike craft just went out, so I'm just going to launch some fighters to cover my lead battleship. I think it was strike craft. Yep, some more strike craft. So they get intercepted and murdered, as will the other group as soon as they reappear.
Orks is best. Orks. The enemy has seized a strategic area.
So the enemy has decided he's going to start capturing points after all. So disruption bomb just went down, but the battle barges don't really have the firepower to capitalise on it.
You have accumulated
Just going to capture this battle barge. Wait for it, wait for it, go. Go, it's stuck in a bubble now. Still got fire cover up, so that'll take care of that further group of strike craft. Yeah, he really he's not been screening his strike craft with fighters, so that's really hurting him. Pop the rally there to stop that mutiny. We're just going to be chunking his health away shortly. Tractor cannon's already up again, so even if he tries to rob it, we'll be able to grab him. Again, his strike craft get taken out by the fighters. Meanwhile, I've got my escorts up in the capturing the top left point there, and I think I forgot to move my right-hand group of escorts. Should really be capturing the point behind the main fleet, but that doesn't matter. And the bombers, they're going down too. Again, he's not screening with his fighters, so I'm just mincing them. Anything that my fighters don't get, the point defense does. Engines down on one of his strike cruisers. We'll just slow down this other one. So that'll give me a chance to finish off his buddy, and then we'll go get the flag. Finally remembered about my right hand group of escorts, who are now moving in to capture that last point, which will be all 5 points captured once that one goes down. Mutiny on the flagship. I think that was definitely a Colexis, but had the rally available, and again strike craft get intercepted and murdered immediately. And there goes the red engine, so no possibility of escape whatsoever for this Astartes flagship now. Just put out some more fighters in case he tries any funny business. But yeah, it's over. And another mutiny on the flagship. I guess it's just through being ground. That's a good, certainly a good tactic with. Damn! I just lost 2 battleships in the space of a couple of seconds. But he hasn't got enough left to capitalise on it, so as soon as his shields go down, I suppose, yeah. Finish him off with a couple of rams. Didn't get much more orky than that. Intercept bombers, fighters, boom, dead. Oh well, that was a fun mini game. As I mentioned many times in the video, he really should have been screening his strike craft. He could have been doing a lot of damage to me if he just sent a squad of fighters out to tie up mine. Then he could have actually gotten some of his, especially his assault craft through. That would have been pretty damaging for me. But, oh well, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.